Coming up on this edition of TerpVision. After a devastating injury ended his season last year, CJ Brown returns with big goals. Maryland student entrepreneurs traveled to Nicaragua to help launch local socially responsible businesses. A unique mashup of orchestral music and video games. And new technology that solves the age-old problem of bad calls. It's all coming up next on TerpVision. Hey again, everyone. I'm Bonnie Bernstein. Time for another edition of TerpVision, a look at the people, places, and programs that make the University of Maryland one of the world's greatest universities. Well, we are bringing you today's program from a very special place to me. We are on set of my new show, The Download, on Campus Insiders, where I'm the College Sports Network's Vice President of Content and Brand Development. It's an incredible opportunity for me, but one I know would never have been possible without the amazing foundation I built at the Journalism School in College Park. Our first piece today takes us to Nicaragua. Maryland has a long history of enlightening students through real-world experiences, and this one certainly fits the bill. Let's look in on a group of budding social entrepreneurs helping locals start and grow sustainable businesses in this developing nation. In the villages of Nicaragua, something as basic as reading a book at night or cooking safely indoors can be impossible. Without solar lamps to illuminate the pages, reading glasses to see the words, or stoves that cook without noxious fumes, residents are left with few options. This summer, 12 Maryland students went to see how they could help.
Nicaragua is the second poorest country in Central America. Haiti is the poorest. So Nicaragua is beginning to develop a business class and work its way out of poverty. It has been plagued by revolution, by natural disasters, and has had difficulty, and just now is beginning to develop entrepreneurship.
The students helped locals start small businesses, selling essential items that would benefit the entire community. They trained them to do eye exams and sell glasses, and safe indoor stoves and solar lamps and water filtration systems. These students were the very first members of the Maryland Social Entrepreneur Corps, part of a national program started by 2 Peace Corps volunteers.
The way that the Social Entrepreneur Corps model works is they consign these individuals goods, train them on how to sell them, and then they pay back the program based on what they sell.
The other part of our program was a consulting agency wherein students were assigned to businesses within the communities we were working in, and we developed plans for them about marketing and advertising. We developed logos and slogans.
It wasn't easy for these students of different ages and different majors to spend 8 weeks away from home. Several were out of country for the first time, and the challenges were tangible. They had to speak exclusively Spanish. At times, they had no running water and no internet. But the students found solace in their mission, and helping so many people in need made the obstacles fade away.
It was so rewarding to be able to just see the look on a person's face when they put on eyeglasses for the first time and they were able to read their Bible.
After a successful first year, there are plans to expand the program.
The world has become very, very global. It's shrunk. Borders have faded and disappeared. We're all now very interconnected. In my dream, there would be 200 students, at least, from the University of Maryland, fanning across the globe, using the lessons learned from business to solve social problems.
2012 was supposed to be the year of CJ Brown, but his season was over before it started when the Terps quarterback suffered a torn knee ligament in the preseason. Now, it's comeback time.
Heading for the 10, and to the 5, into the end zone with a dive for the touchdown, 21 yards again for CJ Brown.
CJ Brown has been a vital member of the Maryland Terrapins football team since his freshman year in 2008. Named starting quarterback last season, Brown knew it was his time to shine on the field.
When I was first named the starter, and Edsel came and approached me and said, "Look, we're going to name you the starter," I was really excited. There was no better feeling than having the confidence that your coaches are, saying, "Hey, it's your time. You've earned it."
When you see how hard he works, how hard he studies, how hard he prepares, how he handles himself off the field as well as on the field, he's a tremendous role model and a tremendous leader for our football team.
Maryland faces a monumental task this season after C.J. Brown went down with a torn ACL.
You have your highs and lows. This was definitely a low. Working so hard to, earn that spot, to come into camp and, to tear your ACL and not knowing that you're going to be done for the year, no bowl game, no nothing. It's just heartbreaking.
It was a very dramatic time for us and for him, and we all just tried to be there for him.
A number of unexpected injuries throughout last season made it a difficult one for the Terps. Brown was the first of 4 starting quarterbacks injured throughout the season.
When you can't be out on the field, and you're not having the most success, it's always hard. Being injured, it's tough. We started off really well, and to see how injuries kind of impacted that and the more adversity that we faced, and the tougher our team had to fight. It was a tough situation where I don't think any school or team has ever had to go through.
Although Brown couldn't play, he remained an important member of the team, making the most of his recovery time by mentoring younger teammates from the sidelines.
It's never a good feeling not being able to be out there and compete or help the guys in that kind of way, but knowing that you still have a voice, you still can help out with the younger guys in the film room and just kind of help with your experience.
CJ never stopped being a leader last season. He was still a leader on the sidelines. He still helped out in the meeting rooms. He still helped out all the coaches and on the practice field. So he was still there. That was really good for us to see. He is getting better, and he is going to come back and be the same leader that he was.
He was on a mission. He worked extremely hard in his rehab. He also prepared just like he was playing and understanding the game plan. He helped coach those younger guys up. He was doing everything he could to help his teammates get ready to go out and try to win games last year.
The biggest thing was doing what the trainers wanted me to do, whether it was in the swimming pool, in the swim X, or doing single leg squats, or kind of going out and running, or just doing stride by stride, but knowing that I wanted to push myself, but they were going to kind of hold me back because they know I'm a competitive guy.
Knowing he'd have to compete for the starting quarterback position again, Brown worked hard to reclaim his spot on the team.
He was our starting quarterback, but he still needed to go out there and prove that he was the guy that he was before. And I think that just makes everybody better. I know CJ wanted it that way. CJ didn't want to have something that was just handed to him. He's one of those guys that comes from a great family and has always been taught that, hey, you get what you earn.
The road to recovery wasn't an easy one, but Brown has surged back with a vengeance from the injury that erased his 2012 season.
I think CJ has done a great job coming back from his injury and showing no ill effects from that injury. I think he's throwing the ball extremely well. He's running really well. He's leading the team. He's got command and presence of the huddle and of what we're doing.
With the injury behind and a bright future ahead, Brown hopes the team's last season in the ACC will be their very best yet.
For this year, I just want to continue to be a leader, be more vocal for these guys and lead this program in the right direction. We definitely want to contend for an ACC championship, go to a bowl game, and just, kind of bring back, this winning tradition.
At first glance, orchestral music and video games may seem worlds apart. But sometimes the most beautiful music can come from the most unexpected pairings. Whether it's Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, or Pac-Man, anyone who's ever spent time in an arcade or with a game controller has a favorite video game. But have you ever stopped to appreciate the game's soundtrack or imagine how it might sound performed by a full orchestra? A group of University of Maryland students has done just that, turning their passion for gaming and music into something much more than child's play. Founded in 2005 by Michelle Ng, the Gamer Symphony Orchestra brings together a diverse group of students from all majors who share a love for gaming and music.
The Gamer Symphony Orchestra is the first collegiate-level symphony orchestra that is dedicated to video game music. I've grown up playing video games since I was young, and I always had an interest in music. It was around 2004, Video Games Live, which is a professional touring orchestra. They play video game music. It really inspired me to start the GSO, the Gamer Symphony Orchestra.
For many members who grew up playing video games, being part of this orchestra revives incredible childhood memories.
My first memories are playing video games with my older brother. I noticed the music even as a little kid. When I heard about the Gamer Symphony Orchestra and when it occurred to me that this is something I can do, that was really exciting.
I think it has to do with wanting to relive your childhood and the nostalgia factor. A lot of people grew up playing games and they're also musicians.
I've always had an interest in the music from video games too, and just kind of how that can either tie back to memorable moments in the games or just how that's just good music in and of itself. I'd always wanted to perform that music because it was the stuff I had kind of the biggest connection to. When I found the GSO coming here, that was kind of like pretty much a dream come true almost.
Starting with just 10 students in the early days, the group now boasts more than 120. It's attracted hundreds of loyal fans of all ages.
We have all kinds of fans. Our fans are students and parents and even people in the community who aren't really affiliated with the university.
For its members, the Gamer Symphony provides an opportunity to pursue their passion for music while still focusing their academic efforts elsewhere. It also allows them to access the Clarice Smith Performing Arts Center, Maryland's home for artistic expression and experimentation.
I was in school bands, just kind of as a thing to do. But I was pretty much going to drop it after high school. But when I found the group, I immediately called up my mom and I was like, tell my little brother I'm going to need my trumpet back.
I love that I get to play my flute in a fun environment. We take what we do seriously and we work hard, but we also have fun with each other, and I love that.
This orchestra really is a kind of neat thing that we have here at Maryland, bringing together all these different people from all these different backgrounds and getting in touch with the kind of like modern musicality that people can appreciate.
Word of Maryland's Gamer Symphony Orchestra has spread, and students from across the country and abroad have contacted the group about starting similar symphonies or choirs of their own.
This group has actually inspired other GSOs or Gamer Symphony Orchestras to form. So there is definitely a huge interest in this type of orchestra.
Balls and strikes are as much a part of baseball as home runs and double plays. Maybe more than anything else in the game, balls and strikes cause controversy. Every ump has a different strike zone, and it's easy for them to make a bad call simply because of human error. But with the help of a new invention, those mistakes may be a thing of the past. It's one of the most difficult jobs in sports, deciding whether a baseball pitch is a ball or a strike, hundreds of times a game. Did the ball, often moving at nearly 100 miles an hour, travel over the 17-inch wide plate? And did it stay between the batter's shoulders and his knees? It's a task that tests the limits of the human eye and the human brain. And not surprisingly, umps sometimes make mistakes, to the frustration of hitters, pitchers, managers, and fans. Now, two University of Maryland researchers and a local inventor have developed an automated system they say will all but eliminate these mistakes. The idea was hatched with Hagerstown's Jerry Spessard. He's been around baseball more than 40 years. As a kid, he played on two Little League World Series teams, and he later coached his own son, who became a star in College Park.
I played a lot of baseball myself. My son played here at the University of Maryland, and so I've attended many, many baseball games. And the two factors that offend me are the umpire doing incorrect calls and taking a game away from the batter or the pitcher. And number two, when I go to a baseball game, I go to enjoy it, and I hate the verbal abuse that the umpire has to take.
Spessard isn't a scientist, and he needed help to make his home plate idea a reality. So he came to the Maryland Technology Enterprise Institute, or MTech, which connects entrepreneurs to university researchers who bring ideas from concept to market. There, Spessard met Maryland computer engineering professor Chris Davis. He had no interest in baseball, but was still intrigued.
I thought it was a really neat opportunity to use optics to solve yet another interesting problem. And my lack of interest in baseball didn't deter me from being interested in this as a scientific problem to be solved.
After several months of work, Davis and his research associate, John Raza, came up with a model.
The key features of this prototype are two slots front and back, from which a vertical curtain of infrared light comes up, and two photodetectors. And the photodetectors will pick up the light that illuminates the baseball and scatters it down, and that tells you a baseball has crossed the plate.
Software translates the sensor's data into balls or strikes. It also collects data on the speed, location, and angle of pitches.
I feel that the electronic home plate is going to be a training device in the first couple of years, where it's going to be used in the bullpen, it's going to be used for practice games and inter-squad games, and they're going to get so used to it that eventually will end up in games.
Spessard isn't the first to invent an automated model that determines balls and strikes. Every Major League ballpark has a sophisticated multi-camera system, but the TV networks use it more to give fans a better view of the action and less to come to the aid of the umps. Each of those systems costs millions. The electronic home plate, though, will be much more affordable.
So what we're trying to do is give a system where you can get that same type of information basically anywhere there's a baseball field.
Even though he grew up playing cricket across the pond, Chris Davis has become more interested in baseball since starting the project.
I'm exactly the same name as Crush Davis from the Baltimore Orioles, who's having a fantastic season. So there is an instant connection in a way.
Davis and Raza are now in the process of ironing out kinks in the device, and they hope to have a finished version early next year. Then Spessard will begin manufacturing, and he plans to take the electronic home plate to market by next summer. Thanks so much for joining us on this latest edition of TerpVision. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Bernstein. Fear the turtle.